still have it's sorry, I have the name right
And by the
here.
way, to all the Utah fans out there who are listening to this, happy to have you listening, guys. I don't know how you found
Yeah,
it, but
yeah, it's Jacob Poetel. I was actually right. Yeah, they're outstanding freshman. He was hurt earlier in the season, but they still have DeLon Wright, who many think is the best senior guard in the country. I would agree with that in the assertion. Such a versatile player. 16 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Anyways, I don't want this to turn into a Utah preview. The Pac-12 is down outside of Utah and Arizona and Arizona. They're going to lose both games to Arizona. They have a chance to split with Utah. But the rest of the Pac-12 is down. I could see Arizona State kind of surprising some people and putting together a little bit of a run. That being said, I don't see this team really making the tournament anymore with the games they've blown early in the season and kind of a couple of chances at building up a really strong non-conference record. They haven't really done it. So I'm going to see them. I think they're going to be an NIT team and then have a chance to build on that next year with some of the younger guys they bring back.
all right. Well, as for Marquette, their next 3 games after this one are Alabama A&M, North Dakota, Morgan State. So they've had kind of a tough non-conference schedule up to this point. Actually, a very tough non-conference schedule. But I would like to say we have 3 easy wins, sort of 3 patsies coming up. But after a loss to Nebraska Omaha and surviving NJIT by 5 points, and with NJIT beating Michigan and Immaculate Word beating Nebraska, I mean, who knows? I probably shouldn't be calling anything an easy win anymore. But after this one are 3 games that, well, let's just say they were put into the schedule so that Marquette would win them to sort of pad their record before Big East play. But all in all, this Marquette team has been better than I thought. Probably not a tournament team, much like Arizona State, but they really hung in there against Wisconsin and against Michigan State. Really, I think Ohio State is the only game this year where they looked completely overmatched. And they only lost that one by 11 or 12 points. That's probably the only one where the score kind of belied how not close the game actually was. But I think they're going to be competitive in the Big East. I think Villanova is the only team that is demonstrably better than they are. I think that the rest of the Big East is a little bit better. I mean, Butler upset North Carolina. Georgetown really hung with Kansas and a couple of other very good teams this year. So the good news is that Marquette, I think, is better than expectations. The bad news is that the rest of the Big East is as well. I think they're going to finish 5th or 6th in the Big East, and I don't think that they're going to make the tournament. But next year, they have an insane recruiting class coming in. And also, before I pass it back to you, Gavin, I just want to lay this on our audience because I just noticed. Semi Ojeleye, he was a 4-star recruit at Duke, and he is transferring from Duke because he wasn't getting minutes. Coach Wojo was one of the lead recruiters for Semi Ojeleye, and he wasn't McDonald's All-American, but he was very close. And I don't know if he's looking at Marquette, but with Wojo here and Ojeleye obviously having some ties to him, you might want to look out for him over the next couple of months. Marquette certainly has the scholarship positions open. They have 3 spots open, and Ojeleye could be coming. I mean, I have no solid info to back this up, but logically speaking, Marquette would be one of the places he'd look. So, inside knowledge for people who are listening to this.
Yeah, no, that'd certainly be an interesting addition. Is Carlino a senior this year?
Carlino is a senior, so unfortunately, he'll be going. Derek Wilson will be moving on, and I believe Juan Anderson will as well. So we'll be losing some talent, but the incoming recruiting class is just so loaded. I mean, Henry Ellenson, 5-star recruit from Rice Lake, Wisconsin. He's going to be coming in to man the power forward spot. He actually just went for 46 points and 15 rebounds in his high school game a day or 2 ago. Matt Helt, Nick Niskowiak, and Hanif Cheatham, 3 guys, all of them 4-star recruits. They're going to be coming. I think that the 2015 recruiting class is pretty much set. I don't think there's going to be any late additions. But with the way it is right now, they may not need any. I mean, we have a top 10 recruiting class coming in next year. So this year's sort of greasing the skids for that.
Yeah, Wojo as a Coach K discipline is always going to have some pull. And Marquette, I mean, as far as I know, traditionally, much like Wisconsin, they kind of like to do a lot of their recruiting within the state, and 3 of their 4 commits are. But then you have Chatham from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It's going to be really interesting to see over the years how Wojo kind of expands Marquette's recruiting grounds. And with guys like Jimmy Butler, Wade, Steve Novak continuing to kind of succeed in the NBA, you can really see Marquette becoming kind of a recruiting power over the years. I'd wager to bet that by your junior or senior year, this Marquette team is really, really good and back amongst the top 16 or so in the country.
Well, actually, to expand on your point about expanding the recruiting range, I mean, maybe there's a reason for this, maybe there isn't, but so much great basketball talent comes out of the area in and around Chicago. Obviously, some of the best players of all time have come out of there. For some reason, no college dominates that area. They just sort of go all around the country. And I think if Marquette wants to expand their recruiting range, some 40% of the students here, or I should say at Marquette, not here in New Jersey, they're from Illinois, and most of those people are from around a suburb of Chicago. So if Wojo wants to expand the recruiting range, that is a very logical place to expand.
Yeah, that'll certainly be interesting. There's always been kind of a power hold there because there's never been really an elite team in Chicago itself. And for whatever reason, Illinois has never really dominated that area. You've seen Anthony Davis go to Kentucky, Jabari Parker end up at Duke. So, yeah, that'd certainly be interesting down the road for Marquette.
All right. Well, that's Marquette, Arizona State. Before we move on, any final thoughts on this one, Gavin?
I think I like the storyline about the 2 players making their debut. It sounds like they're kind of exactly, as I've already said this, but they're exactly what both team needs at their respective points. And it adds some excitement to this game. It's always fun kind of adding a guy mid-season since obviously there aren't trades in college basketball. This is kind of the only situation where that happens. And it adds a little bit of extra excitement to this game and the rest of the season for both teams. So that's going to be what I'm watching for.
Yeah, well, that's probably going to be what I'm watching for, too. I'm anxious to see how Luke Fisher helps Marquette's size problem. I think he'll go at least a little ways towards solving that. I mean, just by the very nature of him being 6'11". I'm very interested to see whether Marquette keeps with their zone defense. And ultimately, I think this is a matchup between 2 teams that are fairly evenly matched. So I am excited to see how this one turns out. Gavin, thank you very much for coming on. I'd love to talk more, but unfortunately, I have to go eat dinner now. So
I think we covered everything.
We covered just about everything. 77 minutes now. I think we did a pretty thorough job, and we will do this again soon, or at least next time I come home, because college Wi-Fi is not the best, and I don't want to lock my roommates out for an hour and a half while I hog our Wi-Fi to do this.
Totally justified.
Yeah, but next time we're able, we got to get on this again.
Sounds good. We'll get one out mid-season.
Absolutely. But in the meantime, Gavin Schall, Cronkite Sports staff, check out valleyofthesuns.com where he is a staff writer. Thank you very much for coming on, and let's have a good game between Marquette and Arizona State tomorrow.
Looking forward to it.
All right. So long, everybody.
Really quickly, that's on Fox Sports 1 for anyone who wants to watch.
Fox Sports 1, all right. Good save from Gavin Schall there. Good podcast, and we will see you again sometime in the future. But for now, this is Andrew Goldstein and Gavin Schall signing off. So long, everybody.